What's up, guys? In this video, we're taking a look at a Reddit post about the September's numbers, meaning the player count in RuneScape right now. Now, this is actually quite interesting because a lot of people have been saying whether it was just really nothing and people weren't actually quitting that much, or whether it was just a drop off in necromancy and this sort of thing. So this person's put a ton of effort. Every single link in here is like graphs and stuff. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through this Reddit post, and you'll have gameplay footage in a second, the background stuff to keep your eyes happy. And then I'll edit where I am on this post, and I'll put the graphs up as we go along as well. I'm not going to go through every single graph on here because this is a long post. We'll be here all day if I do that. So let's take a look what this person says. This is by Cobra the King, and it's doing very popular, this post. So it says, TLDR at the bottom, skip to the title text that interests you below if you just want to see numbers. We're going to go through the whole thing though. The last month has seen a lot of claims about how the player count is affected, and I wanted to see if we could get any actual. Was it just a tiny fraction of loud people on Reddit, a big walk away? Did people come back? And I could think of no better source than Jagex's official high score numbers. Cool. The high scores record anyone that got 1k XP during its duration, both for the weekly and the monthly high scores. Before we start, I'll have to point out a few things about high scores. The first is that it loves throwing up error pages. You can just reload and eventually you'll get to see the high score. And the second is that seemingly last page of the high score isn't the actual last page. You'll have to go through more pages after that. The easiest way to know you're definitely not at the end is that nobody has exactly 1k XP. All right, cool. So he's put some little things in here as well. He just shows that he's done his research and he understands what he's talking about pretty much. If there are any issues or questions, please say so. So it's a lot of numbers, and I'd not be surprised if I'd mistype one. All numbers should be verifiable. Perfect. Lots of homework done. This is great. Now, so like I said, we're going to go through the next bit, and graphs and stuff will come up on screen as we get there. So it says September compared to last year. There's no question about the numbers. September was the worst month of the past year, and you can clearly see that on screen with this graph. It's absolutely crazy. Not only that, it was the worst drop of any month at over 17% fewer players than August. Here is the graph showing the change in percentage, and here is the numbers. Damn, that's insane. 17% fewer players than in August. That's crazy. If you want, I also grabbed the difference between September and each individual month, both percentage and raw number. September lost their player gain in August almost twice over. Now, I'll obviously link this whole Reddit post in the description because I'm not going to be putting up every single graph and every single screenshot of stuff because the video would just be insanely long and messy at that point. So I'll link the whole post in the description. You can go through and look at all the graphs and stuff that he's put on here. But this is a lot of work. Good job. Holy crap. Big credit. September compared to last September. Some nice soul went ahead and archived the player count on Fresh Start World update day on the 26th. If you guys remember, a lot of people were hating on Fresh Start World launch as well. And so I guess that's a pretty good time to compare actually. With 13,283 pages and 25 players on each, the count should be 332,075. I checked the high score with as much time left on this month, and we had a player count of 297,173. Which is a fair drop. Here's a screenshot. This is a difference of 35,000 or nearly 35,000 players, placing this September at 10.5% lower player count than last year. In short, this September is decently worse than last September, even pre-Fresh Start Worlds, which again was a big deal. A lot of people were very angry at us. We had an uprising against Fresh Start Worlds as well, do you remember? And we were like, no, absolutely not. And they backtracked that too. So this is another, not quite as bad, obviously. This is a lot worse. So interesting. The weeks of September compared to weeks of last year. Okay. One note that the second week in November was broken, ending in a much higher threshold than 1k XP. I used the surrounding weeks to make an estimate and colored that week golden to make it distinct since it's unreliable. Here are the weeks named like they are in the high score as month, week of month. So the 5th week of December is this same as January 1st, makes sense. Does not exist and says identical with the same. Color coded red for August, green for the week of Hero Pass launch, purple for post Hero Pass, and orange is the last month for Necro, and black is the second worst month of the year, namely May. All right, cool. So we're looking on this graph at basically the purple, and the orange is the month before, the last month for Necro, and then green is the week of the Hero Pass launch. So you can clearly see the drop here from like the purple ones, which is when the hero pass dropped, right? You can see the drop in numbers, which again, you'd expect numbers to drop when Necromancy's been out for a little while, but crazy. It says here that there's a notable drop off from pre-hero pass to post-hero pass every week after hero pass has been in the top 10 worst weeks of the year, with just last week being the second worst week of the year. We saw a drop off from Necro, but it was slowing down before being sped up by hero pass. I think it's clear that we are beneath pre-Necro levels, so we are lower in the player count now than we were before Necro. This doesn't shock me too much as well, though, to be fair, because a lot of people would have returned before Necro released to prepare their accounts and stuff, get quests completed, make some GP ready for the launch as well, and I guess those people also leave once they're done. Because we also would have had a player increase just before Necro 2, so depending how, but yeah, it's still also kind of understandable. September compared to the last decade. Damn, okay, so it's last month compared to the last 10 years. Let's have a look. I was going to end it there as I could not navigate to earlier high scores until I realized the date number in the URL was epoch numbers. Nice. aka milliseconds since 1970. Theoretically, that should get me every high score since they started with monthly and weekly high scores, and that theoretical turned into a reality. Damn. Would you be happy about that? Or would you I guess for this person who's already done all this work and homework and stuff, it would be okay. But part of you would be like, oh, man, if it didn't, I'd be done. This is going to be a lot of work. So I hereby present numbers going back to February 2014. Of these, October and August of 2020 and November 2014 are unreliable, like the weekly high score mentioned above, marked golden. March 2014 was so broken, I decided to just keep it off. Fair enough. Okay, so here is the monthly player count since 2014. Colored red is the months that had a lower player count. For the change between each month, here is a percentage, here is the absolute count, and there's some big things notable. So we're going to take a look at this monthly player count since 2014 before we move on. Let's have a look. Okay, so unique player count each, it says month, but it's month. And you can see the graph here from 2014. Damn, what happened in 2014? We were popping off in 2014. I have to check. That's crazy. And then it went down, 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 down. And then 2019 was absolutely terrible. Then COVID hits. And we go up and up and up. And then we had like archaeology release. And then up and up and up again. And then kind of alright. And then down again. We had a content drought between 2022 and 2023. So we dropped off a little bit. I'm assuming this around here is like the Golden Pie hat. This big spike here is probably Golden Pie hat. God of War 3 launch around here. Golden Pie hat event here. And then, yeah. And then we've dropped off here since the Necromancy launch. It's crazy to me. It looks like, if we look here, where we at? Yeah, it looks like archaeology did better than Necromancy for numbers. It seems, maybe. Unless I'm misunderstanding this, it looks like archaeology, which is around here, right? I think. Yeah, I think so. I did better than the Necro. But anyway, we're here now, which is the lowest we've been since 2020. So we're kind of like getting near COVID numbers, pre-COVID numbers, kind of looks like. That's crazy. Well, let's go back to the post. So it says, 1, this is the worst month since February 2020, bringing us to pre-pandemic levels. Okay, that's what we were just saying. This is the 11th worst month on record. If you want to see the numbers change needed to reach the worst ones, have some percentage or absolute numbers. September is closer to the worst month ever than to August. Holy crap. This is the 3rd biggest change in percentage and 4th biggest in numbers. Number 1 and number 2 are the abandonment of alts made for the Golden Pie Hat event. Like that's what I was probably just saying there. And you can easily see the creation of these alts in the preceding month. With a 38% increase in unique accounts for that December, seem like the Golden Cape event did not bring a fraction of the Pie Hat numbers. Yeah. Yeah, no, the Golden Cape event, no one bothered as much. Everyone made alts and went crazy for the Golden Pie Hats. But the Golden Cape, I don't think I knew anyone who was farming alts. The cape wasn't worth anywhere near as much, so it just wasn't really worth alting, you know? It wasn't a big deal. With that knowledge, this looks like the biggest walk away from the game by normal players of the last decade. Damn. No other month than Party Hat came close in percentage change. The fourth worst is 14%, and the fifth worst is 11%. This month had over 17%. So we've had a bigger player drop this month than we've had in the last 10 years, apparently. That's nuts. That's absolutely crazy. With the EOC happening slightly over a year previous to the start of monthly high scores, this is likely the biggest walkaway since then. 5 skill drop-offs seem to be overstated. Archaeology and Invention both released towards the end of their month. Arc released on the 30th, increasing by 19% the immediate month, and then fell off by 0.5%. Invention, a much more troubled launch on the 25th, saw a 7.7% reduction the immediate month, and then 4.1% gain the month after. We're seeing a 17% drop off in the same time period. Oof, damn. Considering the high scores had 3 out of 30 days pre-pass, and I have multiple friends that have quit yet feature on this month's high scores, and others that are just playing until membership runs out, how much more dire would the numbers be if it came out only a few days prior? With that, I suggest the event has done little at all to prevent the bleeding of players, and we're looking at another competitor for the podium of worst weeks of the year, and definitely not starting October off on a good front. Yeah, I don't think the PVM event made a difference at all. The people who are playing anyway are like, cool, happy days. But even for me personally, I've not played because of the actual PVM event, man. Not at all. I did like one stream because why not, and that was it, man. That was it. TLDR, not only worst month of last year, but worse since February 2020. Damn. Okay, well, I mean, there's not much else to read through here now, so that's crazy to me. I think that it's kind of sad to see that the numbers have dropped so far. I felt it in the views and stuff, man. Like the views on content has dropped down. The player count has dropped down for the worlds, feel a bit emptier, and stream numbers have dropped like holy hell, big time. Same on Twitch as well, I believe. They're like the lowest it's been in years, or for a hell of a long time. So there's a big drop off, man. But the thing is, I don't think RuneScape's going to die. I really don't. The game's there's too many people committed to it. It's just going to be a smaller game for a while until maybe something happens. People come back, maybe with new content. The boss in November maybe brings some people back. It just depends how long for. And I think the Thereabouts makes a big difference and a big point to it. But personally, I think people are just hitting that wall of what do I do now a little bit quicker than they used to, and like very fast compared to what they used to be fair. And then you just get burnt out, a little bit bored, and you move on to other stuff, which isn't it's not terrible if people are playing other games. The only issue is if people are hitting the end game because of necromancy, and they've got all their end game stuff quickly, and they're like, cool, I can kill all the bosses now, happy days. That's great, that's fine. And that's actually okay if they leave the game and go play other stuff. And then when new content comes out, they'll come back because they've got their account and the stuff all in that position. It's fine. The thing that does hurt the game is if people quit because of Hero Pass, they quit the game because they're like, I don't want to play this game anymore. Even if they had goals set and stuff like that, they're likely not going to come back. So that's the difference. People getting burnt out and numbers dropping from that isn't the end of the world, because when there's more content, those players likely return and will return. But Hero Pass people quitting and cancelling the sub and stuff because of that, kind of probably is more permanent. But we'll see what happens. Anyway, I found this really interesting. Credit to Cobra the King. Your post is insanely well written. Thank you very much. I hope you don't mind me using this. If you do, then I'll just take it down as what it is. But what do you guys think of this? Let me know in the comments. And otherwise, I'll catch you all in the next one. Catch you later, guys. Bye.